All right, never mind. North Korea says we started it. It's now warning it plans to shoot down any U.S. bombers flying even near the Korean peninsula, even if over international waters. This after officials claim the U.S. has, with its language and tone, already declared war with its own bombers. To House Foreign Affairs member and New York Congressman Lee Zeldin on the fallout. You know, Congressman, it won't take much, and it probably wouldn't take much, for this thing to really go bad very, very quickly. What do you do?
Well, one thing is we know that Kim Jong-un is homicidal and not suicidal. And while some people were upset with President Trump's fire and fury tweet, the fact is if North Korea attacked the United States, they would be met with fire and fury. So for Kim Jong-un to make provocative statements, to do provocative things, it's one thing. But I think he's becoming increasingly aware that we are more prepared for the full range of options from the unconventional to conventional, where a guy who's homicidal and not suicidal would certainly be risking his own life. He'd be giving it up for an attack on the United States. And I think he knows that more now than he did in the past.
I was talking to a retired general congressman who was saying something to the effect that Kim Jong-un is very aware of what happened to Saddam Hussein and what happened to Muammar Gaddafi when they sort of backed away or ceded to foreign demands, more the case of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. And he doesn't want that for himself. He feels that his bargaining chip is this nuclear capability, and it's going to be very hard to dissuade him of that. So how do you dissuade him of that?
Well, the unanimous vote at the UN Security Council about a month and a half ago, which included Russia and China, was a big step forward. I wish that President Trump had more runway. He came in office in January. He didn't really inherit any strategy at all for dealing with North Korea. We were way behind the curve. But we've seen a lot of progress get made with China over the course of the year. Starting to accept more and more North Korea as a threat to the region and one that they need to weigh in to halt North Korea's advancements. So where you have that type of progress is great because you need to ramp up the economic pressure, because if you don't want the military option and you start brainstorming all of the other options, of multilateral diplomacy, the information, the economics of the dime principle that we operate off of, that's the only other way to deal with Kim Jong-un, short of him just not wake. I mean, we're humans. If he didn't wake up tomorrow morning, we'll see who he'd get replaced with. But we can't control that. At least not part of the dime principle. So for Kim Jong-un, he needs to see that there's no way that his regime is going to be able, and his country is going to be able to exist when you have all of your exports and imports get cut off.
Well,
I don't know if we have enough timeline.
But he survived very nicely. Other, sweeping sanctions. Maybe you're right. Maybe these ones will be different. But I'm just wondering now, since he still plans to conduct this, hydrogen bomb test over the Pacific Ocean sometime soon, the likes of which we've not seen in this planet since China did it back in the fall of 1980. There's a reason why such events are rare. They can take out electronic transmissions. They can cause planes to fail midair. That's generally not a good thing. So they'd have to telegraph that, and announce that to the world before they do. Otherwise, you have problems. Would that be a provocative act in your eyes? Would that be an act of war in your eyes?
Well, I don't want to. I can speak for myself. I don't know if that would be enough to impact the United States, where we would be acting on that. We would kind of have to assess what exactly they would be firing and the consequences of whatever they'd be firing to decide whether or not it would be crossing that red line. For me, the red line should be that North Korea should not have the ability to attack the United States with a nuclear warhead. Where I said a few months ago, where all of us were saying it might be as little as 18 months, now that timeline has been drastically reduced. I can't speak for the administration, but the administration might take that as an act of war. I don't believe that they would, but I would have to defer to them.
Yeah, you never know. All right, Congressman, thank you for taking the time.